Surveys came under fire in the months leading to the elections as different candidates attacked survey firms for allegedly being biased and for trending. And here's one guy who knows all the accusations that's hitting trending, bias, name it. So did the surveys help or hurt the candidates' chances of winning? And how accurate were the survey results? With us in the studio today for our second hot copy, please tweet all your questions, all. Professor Ronald Holmes, the president of Pulse Asia. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Karen.
Mr. President.
Good morning, Karen.
All right, now, Pulse Asia is under fire. I mean, talk about the surveys in the beginning and now the exit polls. I mean, you have Binay supporters saying, how could you be saying it's a statistical tie? And you have Rojas supporters saying who's really in the lead. Now, I want to ask you exactly. Let's talk about the exit polls. For the vice presidency, what came out in the exit polls and how did you do it?
For the vice presidency, as we mentioned the other night, Mayor Binay edges out Senator Rojas by more than 5 percentage points. With a margin of error of plus or minus 2, Mayor Binay would win based on that exit poll by at least a percentage point, no? If you apply the margin of error. That's why it was not a statistical tie based on the exit poll. However, we made mention that in our exit poll, where we targeted more than 12,000 respondents, the rate of completion in some areas was lower compared to other areas. In Region 11, we had about 70% of the final call interviews being completed, while in Metro Manila and Central Visayas, we had a little bit more than half. We mentioned in our media release that these conditions should be considered in interpreting the results of the vice presidential race, specifically given the tight race that we're having right now. But our exit poll does show a lead on the part of Mayor Binay.
Okay. Now, Senator Rojas came out yesterday and he said that his bailiwicks have not come in. And I remember correctly that he had said parts of the Visayas, and I read Negros Occidental. And Rojas had said that with the numbers coming in, he feels very confident of a win in which it would be a hairline lead. Does this reflect in the exit polls at all?
Well, in terms of the areas that he claims to be bailiwicks, I would grant that I think every candidate would have a bailiwick. There were 13 provinces that were identified by the LP.
Okay.
We will have to look at our own data in terms of the provincial level, except that our sample at the provincial level might be that small. But in those 13 areas, our problem right now is that it's going to be very hard really to compute because even the PPCRB and the COMELEC data are not disaggregated at the provincial level.
Okay.
What we have being reported are regional returns, although about 90% has been transmitted. But we don't know, for example, let's say the province of Misamis Occidental, which Senator Rojas or the LP says is a bailiwick, or a province that may probably go to him. No? We don't know how many of the precinct counts have been transmitted from Misamis Occidental. We cannot assume that 100% have not been transmitted. I was looking at the PPCRB press release last night. Only about 17% of Central Visayas electoral PCOS counts have not been transmitted from the precincts. So that it's not safe to conclude that all of Cebu has not yet transmitted, although we know that Cebu is a bailiwick of Senator Rojas. We know that Metro Manila, only about 3% of the precinct counts have not been transmitted, and it's a bailiwick of Mayor Binay.
You mean Mayor Binay won in Metro Manila?
Mayor Binay, we know, had a more or less a standing of about 4 out of 10 votes in Metro Manila. I can't remember the exact figure, but that's Metro Manila. He was able to also have a good voting support in Region 11. We know that from the past surveys, Senator Rojas was strong in Central Visayas, in Western Visayas, but they were basically tied in Eastern Visayas. One of the provinces mentioned by the report was Samar. And Samar, you cannot really call it neither for Mayor Binay nor Senator Rojas. So you have to wait for the results. I would tend to agree that I think our exit poll shows Mayor Binay leading. Eventually, however, the final count will be determined by the official canvassers, and that's Congress. And that's a time that we can look at and reflect on our exit poll, the conditions that militated for or against getting those interviews completed. The final count will validate it.
Now, are exit polls ever wrong?
They may be a few percentage off, especially in tight races. It's not good to call a contest right away. No? However, you have to look at the exit poll also in relation to previous polls,
Yes.
pre-election polls. And our pre-election polls has already indicated that there were certain movements, especially in the vice presidential race as early as April.
Okay.
Movements that really showed an upsurge on the part of Mayor Binay, as well as a significant decline of voting support on the part of Senator Rojas.
Was there really a decline on Senator Rojas? Because I tend to agree with Mar Rojas when he said that the decline happened to Lauren Legarda, and most of Lauren's voters went to Binay. But Mar Rojas yesterday said that his survey base relatively remained strong. It was the same.
We saw the decline only, a significant decline from March to April. He declined by 6 percentage points. That was the first significant decline that Senator Rojas had in terms of voting support. That was also the time that Mayor Binay's voter preferences, increased by 9 percentage points.
Okay.
So, and also the continuing decline, although it was marginal on the part of Senator Legarda. So, Senator Rojas is correct that in the past 4 months that we've been surveying, he did not show a significant decline except from March to April.
Okay. All right. Now, this is a good question. Ferdy Bull asks, please ask Pulse Asia, why do you have to do surveys before the elections? I think a lot of people complain that it's mind conditioning.
Well, a survey basically captures how the public is predisposed on a particular issue, and in the case of a pre-election survey, what their preferences are. It's very important to know public opinion.
Okay, quickly. Now, because we have so many questions coming in, so it's very important to know public opinion. And the question here is very good. Night Kira asks, when you say random sampling in your exit poll, how random is random?
The random sampling in the exit poll basically captures about 33 areas around the country. It's done in a multi-stage probability sampling. The entire country is divided in 2 areas.
Okay.
And the randomness in terms of selection goes down up to the level of the household. The first person that an interviewer talks to in the household is not the person interviewed. You enumerate everyone in the household, and then you select randomly who is supposed to be the respondent in the household. So it goes from national, we divide by region, and then the region we select a city, municipality, and then we go down to the barangay. In the barangay, we randomly select a household where we start from, and then at intervals of 2 or 5, we go to a household, interview a person, and then enumerate everyone who's in there, if there are 10 people there, and subsequently select based on a Kish grid who is supposed to be the respondent.